There comes a season in every human life when the upward drive of youth gives way to a more contemplative descent. It is not a decline in value or dignity, but rather a turning inward, an alchemical transformation that Carl Jung believed to be just as necessary, if not more so, than the ambitious unfolding of the first half of life. Jung did not see aging as a fading, but as a flowering of a different kind, the blossoming of the soul in the first half of life. We are tasked with establishing our identity. We pursue goals, accumulate knowledge, build careers, raise families, and strive to become someone. Our efforts are directed outward, toward the construction of a socially viable self. This is a necessary phase, and Jung acknowledged its value. But he also warned that if we remain fixed in this mode of being, we risk becoming hollow, brittle, and lost as time begins to turn us inward. For Jung, the second half of life is not merely a continuation, but a different journey altogether. It is no longer about expansion, but about contraction into essence. It is no longer about conquering the world, but about understanding the inner world. It is a return not to what we were, but to what we have always been beneath the layers. This is the path of Individuation. And it's the process of becoming whole. It is the reconciliation of opposites within the psyche, the conscious and the unconscious, the light and the shadow, the persona and the true self. While this process may begin earlier in life, Jung believed it found its richest soil in the later years, when the ego's grip loosens and the soul becomes more audible. Aging is often feared in modern culture, viewed as a loss of power, relevance, or beauty. But Jung urged us to see aging not through the lens of decay, but of deepening. The second half of life offers a new landscape, not barren, but ripe with a different kind of fruit. This fruit cannot be harvested through force. It requires silence, receptivity, attention. This is where the gift of conscious silence becomes central. As the outer world grows quieter, children leave home, careers wind down, social circles shift, and inner space opens. In that space, many hear a whisper they had long ignored, a dream that returns, a question that will no longer go unanswered, a longing that defies logic. These are not signs of irrelevance, but of initiation. To grow old is to be initiated into the mysteries of the self. It is not a period of waiting for the end, but a portal into deeper being. The psyche knows this. Often, when the structures of our outer lives begin to soften or collapse, it is not because life is failing us. It is because life is inviting us to enter. And yet this invitation is not always welcome. Many resist the inward turn. They cling to the persona, the roles they once played, the images they once maintained. This clinging creates suffering. Not because aging is inherently painful, but because refusing to age inwardly leads to spiritual stagnation. To accept aging is to embrace the sacred fire of transformation. In the silence of later life, dreams often return. Jung himself observed that the dreams of older people take on a different quality, more symbolic, more archetypal, more urgent. These dreams are messages from the deeper self, guiding us toward integration. They remind us that while our bodies may grow older, the soul remains vast and unbounded. This is not a passive time. It is a time of subtle labor. The work of soul, the rearranging of inner furniture, the facing of old shadows, the healing of ancestral wounds, the blessing of future generations, not through advice, but through presence. Elders, in the Jungian vision, are not merely people who have lived long. They are those who have dared to go inward, to face the unknown within, and to emerge with gifts of wisdom, humility, state, and quiet strength. Protecting one's psychological energy becomes an essential act in this stage. The world may still clamor for attention, but we learn to choose more carefully. Not every argument needs our voice. Not every story needs our response. Not every invitation requires our presence. We begin to withdraw, not out of fatigue, but out of discernment. This is the sacred economy of energy, the soul's wisdom in knowing what is worth spending itself on. And in that space of conservation, new vitality arises. Creativity returns in quieter forms: poetry, journaling, music, painting, gardening, or simply gazing at the clouds without needing to interpret them. The second half of life does not offer the fire of youth, but it offers the glow of depth. In this glow lights paths for others to follow. Carl Jung believed that one does not truly begin to live until they have met their own soul. For many, that meeting only becomes possible when the distractions of the world have dimmed and the stillness of age allows the inner voice to be heard. To resist that voice is to live only half a life. To heed it is to enter a fullness that transcends time. The second half of life invites us to let go of the question, "What can I do?" and instead ask, "Who am I now?" It is a time to reclaim forgotten parts of the self, to make peace with the past, and to prepare the inner ground for what Jung called the unused mundus, the unified world of psyche and spirit. We may not know what lies beyond this life, but we can come to know the life within us that has long waited to be lived. Aging, then, is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. It asks of us not answers, but openness; not performance, but presence; not perfection, but participation in the great dance of becoming. As the outer world fades, the inner light brightens. This is the gift of Jung's vision: to see the second half of life not as an ending, but as a sacred beginning, a return to essence, a reunion with the self, a homecoming. Thank you for walking this path with us. If this message touched something within you, please consider liking the video, subscribing to our channel at ShadowSagu7N, and sharing your thoughts in the comments. Your presence here matters not just to us, but to the unfolding of your own inner journey. Let us grow older and deeper together.